What's up, guys? Today is the day I'm going to put this culvert in. I've got 60 foot of 12-inch double-walled pipe. Going to be putting my truck on the right side of the ditch, if you know what I'm saying. You know, you never know when something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. Is equipment going to break? Want to be able to get out of Dodge if you need to. So, coming on down here with Ho Chi Lin, my Chinese tractor, and we're going to get staged up and get fired up to do something I've been waiting to do for a long time. Okie dokie. Now, before we get started putting this pipe in, I'm going to get the old laser level out, and I will let you guys know I am not proficient with this tool. Some of these guys that do a lot of dirt work are wizards, and they can set up for this much of a drop and this amount of distance and all that. All I'm really doing with this thing for now is just doing what I can kind of see with my eye, if you know what I'm saying. I think we've got plenty of drop from here, which is where the entrance point is going to be on this culvert, to all the way over at the edge of that wood tree line, the woods, whatever you say there. I think we've got probably a little too much drop. So we got a little bit of a unique issue here. You know, you've got to bury this pipe to a specific depth, and in the process of doing that, you gotta manage basically both ends, if you know what I'm saying. I don't want this end to be too deep where it's like this going to China hole that somebody's going to run their car into, or somebody's going to trip and fall into, or whatever it might be. Having too much fall from this end to the other end could make, you know, the water flow a lot faster than it needs to, you know. So I guess you could kind of cheat it, if you know what I'm saying. You could diminish the bury depth on the far end here and then bring it up. But, you know, I'm just trying to figure out where are we at, what's going on. So I'm going to finish getting this thing set up, and we'll talk about what you do. All right, so you're hearing a whole bunch of noise there. You got three different tones. You got a low tone, you got a high tone, and then the rapid beep is, we'll call it on the money. So what I'm kind of doing here is seeing how high I've got to pick this thing up to be on the money, if you know what I'm saying. And you'll notice the further I go, the higher I'm holding this thing up. So that's the amount of fall that we have from where the laser's at till going out to this edge here. And I think with indoor plumbing, you want like, man, I could be totally wrong here. It's somewhere around like an 1/8 of inch fall per foot, you know. So out here, I would say we've definitely got enough. Maybe just a touch too much. So I think it's going to be fine, if you know what I'm saying. And we're just going to run with it. And that's where we're at. we've got a chance of thunderstorms today, so I decided to put the thing back in the box. These things are kind of expensive, so you don't want to end up having an issue and ruining your equipment over just being lazy. So I will be using this a little bit later in the video, but let's just put it away. All right, let's go for a little walk here. We have to go back in the woods, get the loader. If you watched the last video, we've done some work on this road going through the woods. There's a playlist on this, you know. Maybe check it out. I'm trying to get monetized. I'm about, I don't know, 90 some people from being able to get monetized, and I need like another 3,000 hours of watch time. I've got like 1,050 now. Man, don't be afraid to just, you know, maybe help me out here, scratch my back a little bit. Maybe go click on a playlist and just let it roll while you clean the house or drive home from work or something, and let some videos play, help me rack some hours up. You know, I know that's technically kind of like cheating or illegitimate or whatever, but, you know, sometimes a guy just needs a hand, you know, just a little bit of help. So this is basically where we left off on this road, and you know, there was some trees over here and there, and we took a big tree out here, just cleaned stuff up a little bit. And I'd like to get back into some excavation on this, you know, but we got to get these culverts in on the driveway. I haven't been putting it off, but, you know, you'll hear me talk about different stuff. You got to work with Mother Nature, and we had a ton of rain, so it was a high priority. But now we're kind of getting into a drier season to where it doesn't matter driving across the dirt. It's not getting the truck muddy. I can still do whatever I got to do. But, you know, we're getting back into the rain now, and it's just time to get it done. I got almost $1,000 worth of pipes just sitting there. So let's fire this bad boy up, and let's get to doing some work. well, you guys bit the dust there. I got you picked up, finished this up here. So the manufacturer wants a minimum bury depth of 2 feet in like a road or driveway application. I just went as deep as the machine would go, generally speaking, and that was 3 feet. So we will get that 2 foot of bury depth. Quite a ditch here. A lot of material dug out. You can see this is quite the pile. Now I'm gonna have to be careful. This is, you can see what looks like a lot of chunks of rock, and it is, but it's very, like, that's a very soft, soapy rock is what I'm gonna call it. That stuff will kind of break down underwater and whatnot. But yeah, so this has got to go back in, and you know, that's a lot of work just to put a culvert in. Wasn't expecting, I didn't look at what the specs were for the bury depth. I thought I could just go like 1 foot, and they said that you can go 1 foot if you're just putting it under dirt, like maybe if it was like a overflow pipe for a pond or on a walking path or something like that. But yeah, so we got quite the ditch here, and I'm gonna go up, say hi to the dogs, cool off, let this phone charge up for a bit, and then we'll lay this pipe in. And I do got a little figuring to do up here because it is going to be kind of arcing uphill just a little bit, because I don't need it to be 2 feet deep here, and I don't really want to have a gigantic swale or catch basin, whatever you want to call it, over here. So I'll have to see how much pipe I've got to work with, because I just knocked that over too. I think they want 2 or 3 feet hanging off of the end for discharge. So check back with you here in a minute. All right, well, we are back from lunch. I picked up a couple of those Sam's Club rotisserie chickens. I don't know if you're all watching the channel or not, but I do talk about these from time to time. $4.99 for I believe it's a 3-pound rotisserie chicken. Very delicious. Miss Lily gets so excited when I bring one of those home. I'm like, Miss Lily, I got you some chickies. She gets all smiley and panty. And yeah, that's funny. Cheap thrills, if you know what I'm saying. So we're laying this culvert down in this ditch just to see what we got going on. And I came up with a little technique to get these things to go together that we're working on right now. So you want to make sure you clean up the gasket and the bell. I'm using soapy water to help them slide. They do suggest using some type of lubricant, and I was just using ratchet straps. Kind of think about looping one end around the pipe and then hooking that to another end that you loop around the pipe, and then ratcheting in both of them, and you just kind of sink it in together. So that's what I'm doing for these connections to get those pulled together. And the nice thing is they've got a spot on there that says home, so you know that it's pulled in enough and that the pipe's actually seated, because without that, I think you really would be questioning yourself. So yeah, she's in there, and I'm really looking forward to getting this, you know, monster ditch filled back in. This is not being done as per their directions. You know, they want 5 or 6 inches of gravel in the bottom, and then they want you to come up along the sides with a particular material and pack it in and all that. I'm just laying this stuff down over top of it, and once this whole thing's filled in, you know, it's just, if it settles, it settles. You know, I'll bring more dirt in or do rock or whatever, but I don't see these guys, you know, pulling apart or anything like that. At least hopefully not, but you know, that's what we're doing. All right, well, here we are the next day. I've got to shape this up a little bit more and finish doing this. I got another pipe and I got some sod too. I only needed enough really to do this area, but I kind of learned that if you go in there, they've always got stuff that they're trying to get rid of. You can get it for cheap. So I ended up getting a pallet of discounted sod. Stuff is normally $2.80. It's a little on the roach side. They wanted $100 for it. I got them down to $50. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do ahead of that area because that area needs it too. It's kind of washing the dirt out. It's a little rough. You'll see it once I roll it out. But they think it'll come back if you water it. But we'll see. So yeah. I took a preliminary measurement down there for the amount of pipe that we're going to need, and the tape measure left the chat. So yeah, looks like I'm going to need about 15 foot, but I'm not 100% sure exactly how much I'm going to need because, you know, if you do what they want you to do, meaning the manufacturer, they want you to have 2 foot hanging out from the discharge point. So you can see that's the discharge point, but because it's washed out, it could be as much as flush with the discharge point. So I may need to just dump a couple loads and build it out a little bit. So I'm just going to leave it the full length and I'll trim it later. So that's what we're going to be doing. I almost got bit by something. But yeah, unfortunately, when I buried this pipe, it scooted over on me a little bit, so I'm going to have to do some pickaxe and coming through here. I don't want to really try to reroute anything. I'm just going to work with what I got. All right, folks, I had to do a lot of this off camera because I'm out of storage again. These files get pretty big when you're recording this stuff. This is that discount sod. It looks like crap. Apparently, it will come back around once the sun gets on it. That is yet to be seen. This area was getting washed out. You know, that erosion mat couldn't handle the flow, and it was rutting the dirt out, washed all the seed out. This sod situation has worked out really well, so I decided to do that whole pallet for $50 if this stuff comes back to life. what a cheap solution. So we'll see. Now I want to monkey around with this area just a little bit more. I have no idea how much settling there may or may not be, but this culvert's in, you know, about 75 foot long total. This is a 12-inch pipe. I did sod around here too, got this shaped up real nice. Hopefully this stuff comes back to life. We'll see. This place that I got it from is a pretty big distributor. I doubt that they're in the business of lying, if you know what I'm saying. But hey, you know, you never know. There's always one around every corner. But yeah, this looks really nice. Gotta get that erosion mat up there and get that seated. Maybe mess with it just a little bit more. I might put a little more dirt here. I do need to cut this pipe off, but I wanted, you know, about 2 feet out from the edge here. And I'm gonna have to do something there, you know, put down some matting and some riprap or something so it just doesn't wash everything out. But yeah, so, you know, I'm gonna probably end this video here. I hope you guys are enjoying this, checking some stuff out. Man, it's been a hot couple of days trying to get that pipe fitted over there. I'm gonna be honest with you, I dropped a couple F-bombs on that one. I thought it was seeded. I wasn't sure if it wasn't seeded. I think I was just getting hot and cranky and doubting my work. But they have a spot that says home, so you know that it's where it's supposed to be. And it was there, but it was just a little crooked. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you don't mind subscribing, that'd be great. I'd like to monetize this channel. Maybe get some decent equipment as far as recording goes and video editing goes, and stop running out of storage. Boy, is that a unusual issue. All right, guys, take her easy.